Hello, this is a Crash Twinsanity any percent speedrun tutorial for the latest route that has been discovered and also the latest strats that have been found since the last video I made. Here we go. So there you go. That was terrible. So the first thing that we do in Crash Twinsanity any percent speedruns is something called nut skip. And just a minor movement thing, it's actually technically a little bit faster to go this way. It was recently found. But anyways, so you have to roll this nut over to here, and then slide it up onto that ledge, and then you have to slide up onto this ledge right here. So push the nut to somewhere around here. That looks like a decent position. And then slide it again. And there you go. So to do nut skip, first you, so here, let me just show you something. So I don't know if you can see, but there's this little line on the ground here that I'm standing on right now. This one right here, and you want to push the nut a little bit in front of there to have it in the perfect position. So I'll place it in a pretty good spot. That might be a little bit too far forward. I think this should work though. And then what you want to do is jump on it, and preferably on like the back part of it, of the nut, and as you land on the nut, you hold forward, and you should just shoot across. There you go. So this will allow you to skip several levels of the game. And now we're going to skip yet another level. So to do this skip, there's a few different ways you can do it. There's actually a way where you can go all the way over here. There's a strat that's a little bit easier. At least on PS2, it's easier probably to do this, where you can jump on this tree and then jump up here. It's not too difficult. I'll just do it once. There you go, and you can go from there. But the faster way to do it, and also maybe a little bit easier on Xbox, is to do this strat over here, where you jump on this. I mean, it is a little difficult, but you jump on this kind of invisible ledge, and the trick to jumping on the invisible ledge is you want to let go of the analog stick. You want to let go of the left analog stick as you land on it. And you may not stay on it. Sometimes you'll stay on it, sometimes you'll fall off immediately, so I recommend just jumping off of it immediately after you land on it. And then you jump up to that ledge and body slam. So watch this. There you go. And then, unfortunately, that strat is impossible, or at least very extremely difficult on PS2. So the PS2 strat for this would be to slide jump up to here, go up as high as you can, and then body slam up to the ledge. It's actually pretty difficult. The biggest trick to getting it, I think, is, oh yeah. And also, I forgot to mention that you want to store a long jump. For this PS2 strat, you want to store a long jump, but again, I'll demonstrate it and then I'll tell you what to do. Okay, there you go. That's what you are aiming for. So, first of all, you want to get a long jump. So to store a long jump, you do a slide jump, and that's it. Now if you jump off of a ledge, you will end up with the long jump. So, and the key to getting this strat is that So you jump out to the side and then jump up. And when you jump out to the side, to change directions in midair, I would recommend letting go of the analog stick first and then moving the other direction. I already got it. I'm not doing it again. The Xbox strat is much easier. There you go. All right, so now you will just go around that cutscene right there with Cortex and Ernest by just going around it simply. And you can even slide jump off of this for optimal movement, although I missed the long jump. Nice. Now you just body slam up to this ledge. And now we're going to do Tiki Mon skip. So this is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit difficult to jump on this rock because it has ice physics. So you kind of slide around a little bit. So the easiest way to do this is to jump on the rock twice. So with two double jumps. So the first double jump, you double jump up to this spot, not this, pretty much this spot right here where I'm landing. And then you immediately double jump off of that spot farther up onto the rock and then jump over the cutscene trigger. So I'll just kind of demonstrate what it looks like. There you go, just like that. Okay, so the trickiest part of that is getting the jump off of this ledge right here, I'd say. And I find it a little easier if you kind of let Crash jump against the wall and then land on the rock. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but you just kind of got to practice it a little bit and then you get the hang of it. And there's also another way to do this, which is a little bit more difficult, but it's faster. But it's not even that hard. You can skip the second double jump. You can just jump off the first part, and then instead of jumping on the rock again, you just jump forward and go over the cutscene trigger. I'll just show you it. It takes a little bit of practice, but actually it's not too bad. But it is a little bit more difficult because. All right. That took me way too many attempts, but trust me, it's not that bad. Like, I'm just not very warmed up right now. Like, I've gotten it like 10 times in a row when doing run attempts. I guess getting a running head start is actually makes it a little bit easier to pull off. But anyways, so essentially, you just gotta jump as far as you can off that spot, off the rock, and maybe a little bit more to the right than you would expect, because the cutscene trigger, that's where the cutscene trigger would be if you jumped a little bit more to the left. But anyways, finally I'm gonna get past this. I literally been sitting here for like 10 minutes trying to do that. But trust me, it's not as hard as it looks. Okay, so the camera's being built. Nice. So I'll just show a little bit of movement. That was terrible movement. There you go. And hub 1 is done. Only took me 14 minutes. And if you jump right here at the end of the cutscene, you can die and save a little bit of time. I accidentally waited too long, but anyways. So now we get to this part. So if you want to, you can just trigger this cutscene early by jumping up here and double jumping up and triggering the cutscene. But I will show you how to skip the cutscene. And also weird movement tech on Xbox, you can jump right there, but on PS2 you cannot do that. So anyways, to skip this cutscene, I will show you an easy, consistent way to do the strat. You can do it faster without any setup, but it's much more difficult, so I'll just show you the setup. Okay, so I set up my slide jump and stand under the branch. Maybe this time I'll stand a little bit farther away from the trigger, and then do this jump right here. Okay, so yeah, that is pretty difficult. It's going to take you a lot of practice to get it. You might want to opt to not do it when you start out. Anyways, now we get to the fun part, or at least the very interesting part. So instead of just entering the cave normally, we need to enter the cave without hitting the world checkpoint. So first thing you want to do is jump up on top of the cave. So there's invisible ledges on here, and again the key to this jump is you want to neutralize the analog stick or the left analog stick as you land on the ledge, and then jump off of it immediately in case you fall down. So just like this. Oops. Okay. There you go. All right. Now you go over here, and this is where. So when you get to here, you could just you may have like an airwalk stored. You could just airwalk off of it, but I would recommend just jumping forward so you don't have an airwalk stored for the next part. So just jump like this, forward and spin. Don't jump too far forward, otherwise you'll go over the border and it won't load. But anyways, now this is a very tricky part right here. I just love using that word, don't I? Very good job. What you're gonna try to do here is land down on that ledge that Crash is looking at right now, but you have to make sure not to trigger the world checkpoint, and it's very difficult to do this. You have to land as far to the left as you possibly can without falling off. So a very easy setup for this is if you see this little white spot on the floor, kind of stand at the front of it like this, and then have the camera so that Crash's head is right in the middle, or the seam in the wall is directly in the middle of Crash's head, and then hold forward on the D-pad and land on the ledge below. So as you can see, I landed and it did not trigger the checkpoint. I was very close. I was a little to the right, but it still didn't trigger it, so that was good. And now the camera may be really weird here, so you just gotta kind of get used to this. But make sure I just triggered the checkpoint like an idiot, so I have to redo this. Nice job. But yeah, as you can see, it's extremely easy to trigger the checkpoint, so it's gonna take a bit of practice to get the hang of this. I guess I'll demonstrate this. If you're practicing this, this is the way to practice it. If you hit the checkpoint, you just go back to this other checkpoint, and then you go back. So stand on this one spot, and then position the camera like this, and then walk forward with the D-pad, and there you go. And just keep walking forward, because then you'll get to this spot a little bit easier. And then you want to jump, body slam, and then double jump to get back up. Alright, make sure you don't hit the trigger of the checkpoint. Now, this sequence here is going to go really fast because the bat, the bat will go at its own speed. You can't really pause to consider what you're doing, so you just have to go fast. Or not go fast necessarily, but you don't really have time to pause. So anyways, you need to body slam on the ice chunk, I guess is what it's called, or the ice block, so that Crash splashes the water, but you don't want to die. If you stand too close to the edge of this thing and body slam, Crash will die. So be very careful. Just body slam slightly closer to the middle of the block so that it doesn't die, and splash the water. And then I will just describe what's happened. After you do that, walk forward on the ice chunk to the edge, to the front of it, to trigger the bat or to get the bat to follow you, and then immediately run backwards and run over to here. And then when you get to here, you are going to do what's called a swag crouch. So here's what a swag crouch looks like. So as you can see, Crash is crouching in this kind of glitch state, And the reason we do this is so that we can crawl a little bit higher up on the wall to have a better chance of clipping through. So the way to get the swag crouch is, so you use the crouch button or the slide button, which is the B button on Xbox. I can't even remember what he said. But the crouch button, and then you let go of the crouch button and press it again immediately. Like literally the frame after you let go, you press it again. And the way to get this consistently is to use one finger to press it and then roll to a different finger to press it again. So like for instance, I'm using my middle finger to press it and then instantly switch to the index finger to press it. And you get the swag crouch. And then the bat will follow you and push you out of bounds. And you have to make sure you land on the ledge. So it's kind of tricky to land on the ledge without falling off. The way to do it is right when the bat pushes you, immediately hold back on the analog stick, on the left analog stick, and spam the jump button. And I would recommend holding back on the analog stick for like 1 second and then neutralizing it, because if you hold back for too long, the camera will flip and then you'll just walk right off. But if you hold it for 1 second, Crash will move back onto the ledge and you'll be good to go. So I forgot that it's very important where you walk when you trigger the bat, because if you don't walk in the right place, the bat will actually follow you through the wall, and that will be not ideal. Now, it's technically still possible to do the trick when the bat follows you through, but it's not as easy. I guess it is not too bad, but it does lose a bit of time, so I would recommend. And also, it's a little bit harder to land on a ledge if the bat follows you through, because the bat can just push you off. So the key to this is you go here, immediately run back, and jump up to here. It's kind of weird how this works, but you can't, if you go over here first and then go over here, it actually doesn't work as often. It's much better if you jump up here like this, like in a straight line towards where you're going, instead of like jumping over to the right over here, because for some reason the bat takes a different path and then it will follow you through the wall. You'd rather it just stay in the cave at first. And it's still possible to do the trick if the bat follows you through, but it's a little bit more difficult. Okay, and one other thing I forgot to mention, it's kind of apparent, but I'll just mention it just to be sure. If you see the line in the wall that I'm kind of on top of right now, that's where you want to position Crash. Okay, can I please get this for the rest of my life? Okay. Alright, and jump up here, stand here, spin, and slide. So you may be extremely confused what I just did. What I did just then was, so I jumped up to that spot, so it's pretty self-explanatory how to jump up there. But the key is where you have to stand in order to get the bat to follow you and then spin the bat where you want it to go, which is into the checkpoint. So, where you want to stand to wait for the bat is, you kind of see this little point on the floor, or you know, the little point there. I'm standing kind of right here, as far up as I can, like in the middle, just this position generally. Like, it's actually a little specific. You kind of have to stand in a specific position for it to work consistently. So then you wait for the bat, and then when you hear the bat getting very close to you, or you see the bat, immediately move Crash backwards a little bit. So, and not just backwards, a little bit backwards and to the right. So like, kind of like to here, like a little bit to here maybe, somewhere around this part. So move from here to here, here to here, or here to here. I'm not entirely sure exactly what's the most consistent, but it works pretty consistently when I do it like from here to here. And then when the bat gets to you, you spin the bat. And then immediately run backwards and slide. so that you can get to the other chunk before the bat hits the checkpoint. So basically, you'll go here, here, spin the bat, and slide. Now here is where you do the splash teleport. This is where this Crash Twinsanity 8% tutorial video will differ from my last one, and why I'm making this one is because this is the newer strat. And this strat, I believe, only works with 50 FPS, so you have to have PAL enabled for this strat to work. What you have to do is go out of bounds. You have to, first of all, you have to go into this chunk here with it deloaded like this, where it's completely invisible. And to get it to deload, you want to jump over the border. Well, it's already deloaded, but if you walk over the border, it will load, but if you jump over it, it will not load. So, see, it will not load, and that's what you want. And it's kind of weird, like, where you're supposed to jump. Like, you kind of see this line in the floor, that's where the chunk border is. So, like, when Crash changes color, that's when he's going into a different chunk. So, yeah, you can see where it is when Crash changes color. So you just want to jump over it like this. And for some reason, it took me a long time to like get the hang of that, because sometimes it won't work. You won't jump in the right way. But anyways, so to navigate the out of bounds when you can't even see it is extremely difficult, and I still don't have a good hang of it myself. But there's a good image of what the terrain looks like in the Crash Twins resources folder. I think I should link that in the description. But you want to, there's like this little opening in the wall where you want to jump through it and land down below. So I will kind of show you what that looks like. Hopefully I can get it first try. I might have to do this multiple times to even get it myself, because I'm not very good at it, honestly. But here, I'll show you what to do. Alright, I got it. So that's the movement you want to do to get down to there. I may not have done it very well. Probably you want to watch G-Pro's videos, like his current world record on because he's pretty consistent at it. So, but that was a demonstration of what you want to do. You want to land down here, and then you want to run kind of to the left a little bit, aim a little bit more to the left, not straight forward or to the right, I think is the more consistent way to get this. And then you want to hold forward and the slide button. Hold the slide button and forward. Do not let go of the button. Just hold the slide button and forward. And you will get the splash teleport. So watch this. And I guess another tip here. I will recommend that when you do the out of bounds section, you don't try to do it slowly, because you have no idea where you're running. Really, what you want to do is get the hang of the movement, because if you do that, then you will be able to jump in the right spot consistently, because if you do it slowly, you will still have no idea where you're going. So I'll try to get this. Okay, that's what you want to do. And there you go, you get the spot, you get the cursed world. Splash teleport, and then you get the cursed world. Gold segment potential. Alright. This has been a long video. This has been kind of a pain to record because I have not been doing this very well. But anyways, now we will... So what you want to do here is jump up the scenery. So jump on this, and then jump here. Okay, jump here, jump right here, and then you can jump through this wall. You can jump up to this part first if you want, but you may as well just double jump forward from here. It's not too hard. Just go like this, and then what you want to, you have to load the chunk. So to load the chunk, you walk to here, and that will load the chunk. Easy. Then you walk over to here, and then you see the background. When you cross this chunk boundary, it will change from blue to black. So when it changes to black, that means you know you're in the right spot. And then all you have to do is simply jump off, and you'll get it. And just one little pointer here. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. I'm gonna have to add this in. So, if you're playing on PS2, you're gonna have to pause in a couple of places, especially right here. But also, I will show the video. I will add this in. So, and then on PS2, when you get to this part and jump off, you also have to pause, and I will show how long you have to pause right here. Okay, but on Xbox, it depends on what version of Xbox you're using. If you're using disc, I'm not sure how long you have to pause. Probably a little bit. You'll have to kind of experiment with that, or ask somebody in the Discord. I don't know, but you'll have to pause probably for a few seconds. If you're on Xbox HDD, it depends on what type of hard drive you're using. So you have to figure out what hard drive you have. And unfortunately, I have a slightly slower one, so I have to pause for literally like 1 second. If you go fast. Now, let's say you're doing this part over here, and you go over and you just walk, and you just kind of very slowly walk over. If you have slow movement, you don't really need to pause, but if you have very good fast movement, then you're gonna have to pause. So, yeah, if you're doing perfect movement on my current version of Xbox, I have to pause for a split second. PS2, you have to pause for like 6 or 7 seconds. And then if you have a G Pro's hard drive, you don't have to pause at all. But anyways, that was a long explanation, so I'm just gonna jump off now. And immediately run forward, otherwise Crash will trigger the cutscene, and you do not want to trigger the cutscene unless you don't care about that as much, but you'd rather not, obviously, for any route, trigger that cutscene. Now, if you're a beginner in Crash Twinsanity speedrunning, I would recommend from here you would just go forward out this door and do Rock Slide Rumble, and then when you do after you do Rock Slide Rumble, you can skip Bandicoot Pursuit with a pretty easy strat. So I will just show that strat right here.
Nobody knows, Dom. Like, there's like 4 different ways to get over here, and no one has any idea what's the fastest.
But if you're a little bit more ambitious, or you're going for a faster time, you will, at this point in the run, you will, when you get to this part, you will do what we call warp skip. And to do warp skip, you're going to grab Cortex, make sure to not trigger the cutscene, and just walk around the cutscene and grab Cortex and bring him out here to do warp skip. So now we actually have 2 different methods of doing warp skip now. Actually, not just 2, but 2 main methods to do warp skip. I think what I'll do is I'll just show you the method that is currently used in the world record first. I would recommend just learning this right away if you're learning warp skip. You can learn like an easier version of it, like if you jump up here and just place Cortex. Well, I guess I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but here's what I'll show you first. So first of all, let's try to get Cortex up to a certain spot on the scenery. So I'll just show you an easy method of doing it. So let's just throw Cortex and jump up to this spot, and then throw him again, jump to here. So this is probably like beginner's method warp skip. Place Cortex right here, and then body slam onto the end. So I'll just show that. All right. And then slide jump to store a long jump. And then long jump off of this ledge. So I will show that when I show all the other methods here. So that's pretty much the beginner's method of warp skip. And now I'll show a little bit more advanced method. So you can get Cortex up there with only one throw instead of two. So I'll just show that. So that's how you get him up there with only one throw. But here's the most advanced method. So instead of doing a body slam onto the end, we can actually do a twin jump. I can't believe I just did this. Are you serious? What? No, don't make me redo this whole thing. No, I think I'm screwed. All right, so I will now show the twin jump. All right, so here's how you do the twin jump. Throw Cortex, and then wait for him to teleport to you. And at the exact right moment, double jump up so that he teleports under you and you can jump off of his head. I hate my life. That took me so long. All right. Okay, and here's a little tip. If you don't get enough height on the double jump there, you can always body slam up here as well. I'm not going to even bother trying to replicate it, but if you don't get enough height, just do a body slam and you'll land up here. All right. So that was the intermediate. Now the advanced is, instead of standing on the spot and throwing Cortex, you actually throw Cortex from down here and then get the double jump. So the way to do that is to stand right here, and it's kind of a specific, well, not too specific, but a little bit of a specific position where you have to face this way and stand from about this distance and throw Cortex in between like that pipe thing and the wall. And the key to this is that you might want to check with G Pro on this, but I think it's a little bit better to throw them slightly more to the left rather than like all the way right here. Yeah, that's not going to work because he fell too fast. You want to throw him a little bit more to the left, like that. Yeah, that definitely works better. And the other thing is that you want to delay your throw. So instead of just throwing them immediately like this, you don't want to do that. Instead, you want to jump, wait a tiny bit, and then throw them. So a little bit more like this. So again, you want to make sure to delay your flow a little bit. Then you have to jump up quickly to the spot and do the twin jump. So it's very difficult. I'll hopefully be able to get this in not too long of a time. I got it. Let's go, dude. Alright, so I've showed you every strat from this side. I will show you every strat from the side quickly, just to be complete, because this side is also possible, but it's a little bit slower. It's also extremely, way more difficult to get the fast twin jump from this side, because you can't throw the setup. The key to this side is that you can have this setup where you throw Cortex and he takes a little bit longer to teleport, but you don't really have that advantage from this side. You have to jump up extremely fast, and it's just so hard to do that it's not really viable at this point. But you can still do most the other two strats, the easier twin jump and the body slam from this side, so I'll show those quickly. Oh yeah, and just a little bit of a tip if you want to do the body slam strat, because the twin jump can be a little tricky, so you might want to do the body slam strat at first. I like to just point the camera straight at the end when I do it. I think that works a little bit better for me personally. You might find that that doesn't work as well for you, but that's just my opinion. Um, and yeah, you kind of have to do a little bit of a specific double jump up to the end to get it. Um, and I would I guess a little pointer is kind of aim for the center of the end. Like don't hug the wall as much, or just try to aim for the end itself rather than hugging the wall. I think that works a little bit better. So I'm gonna just get it. Also, if Cortex is doing that dancing animation, he actually weirdly enough has a little bit more height. So you'll jump a little higher, and you can even do a double jump and not even do a body slam, but it's much more difficult. I would not recommend that. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna leave that in. There's the double jump. I actually delayed. So also another pointer. I think works a little bit better to slightly delay your body slam. If you slightly delay your body slam, it will avoid you overshooting the end, and also you might even just get the double jump by accident, like I just did, and then you can slide jump here. All right. So I guess this is where I'll show this part. So you can either slide jump off the end, like I just did, to store a long jump. You need to store a long jump here. Or you can do a controllable slide jump off the edge to store a long jump. So you can controllable slide jump off this side if you want, or you can controllable slide jump if you're doing the strat from this side. You can controllable slide jump off this edge, and it's kind of difficult to do. You don't want to go straight off the edge to controllable slide jump. You want to go at an angle, kind of like this angle right here. So I'll just show it. So as you can see, right when you go off the edge, you move this analog stick to the left so that crash doesn't fall off, and now you have a slide jump stored. And now it's a very easy jump to get to the bowl in the center here. You could have the camera flipped, or you could just do it from here with this angle. I like to flip the camera so that, because you have to flip the camera anyways to jump up the rest of it. So just do a high double jump like this. There you go. And again, I like to just land right on the ledge so that you can skip jumping up. But if you're a beginner, I would recommend you just kind of jump forward and land down here and then jump up to here. And then you just jump up here, jump up again, and jump up to the floor to get up to here. And the floor is solid and in some places and not in others, so just want to know where that is to jump up to here. Go through the door so that it loads the area in, and then go to the portal. And here's a thing you can do: hold up left so that you are already walking towards it. And then instead of sliding directly right here, I would go to the side and then slide like this. How did that not work? There you go. All right, well, I guess we're doing anti-agony now. But to demonstrate anti-agony strats, I will actually load a save, because here's a fun fact. If you do warp skip, you're not allowed to die in anti-agony, otherwise the game will crash. So yeah, if you're a beginner, that is another reason why you probably would want to wait to do warp skip. But anyways, I'll just load my save so I don't have to worry about time. All right, so let's go through anti-agony. I guess I skipped the part where you go through that order. That's okay. It's not that complicated. So I'll just kind of demonstrate my movement for this. All right. Hopefully the music isn't too loud. But yeah, I'm going to just demonstrate my movement through anti-agony, and I'll give you a few tips here and there. All right, so so what I just did was, I guess it's called bomb strat. So it's only possible on certain platforms. I literally don't even know which ones. I think it's just Xbox. It might also be NTSC, PS2. I can't remember, but definitely not on PAL PS2. You can't do that. But anyways, I'll explain what I just did. So if you noticed, when I got into the room, I actually took some weird movement. I did a long jump off the checkpoint to the side, and that is so that I can purposely slow myself down, because you actually have to time it perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but you have to time it as to when you slide the bomb into the air, because the bomb will go into the air when the ant is programmed to, I guess, grab the ball. So that the game will freeze the bomb so that the ant can grab it, I guess. Um, so the point is, you have basically a certain amount of time to slide the bomb into the air. You can't do fast movement, otherwise you'll slide the bomb and the bomb will fall into the void before it can freeze. So you have to go a little bit slower. So I would recommend just doing the movement that I did, or maybe watch G Pro's run to see what movement he does to slow yourself down in a consistent way, and then jump on the ball, slide the ball into the air, midair, and jump on it, and you'll go up here. And you just do a couple side jumps, and then slide jump off in this direction to get down there. So now what I'm going to do is show you the alternate strat, which is a little bit easier in my opinion. It's also the PAL PS2 strat, so I'll show you that. So if you notice what I did there is, I landed on the button, and then instead of just going straight to the slide jump, I kind of delayed myself a little bit to wait for the platform to appear. And I would recommend adjusting your camera so that you're facing where you're going and doing a slide jump. And you have to make sure that you have a long jump stored when you do that slide jump, otherwise you won't get enough distance on it. So yeah, I'd recommend facing your camera in that direction and sliding towards it. And you can wait a little bit longer and you also have to make sure you go off the very edge of the platform, otherwise you won't get enough distance and you'll fall in the void. So yeah, that's the tips for that. Oh my gosh, that was so long-winded. Okay. Now time for the longest explanation in the world for this next strat here. So just jump off this orb on the floor to get up. I messed it up, but you can slide jump on it, or you don't even need to slide jump. You can just jump on it and jump up. It should work. Or you can jump off. So basically you want to kind of go up this rock to go over. It's not that hard. And then you can jump off the ant if you want to get over, like that. Or I will show you another way to do it, which is faster. So you want to jump like this. And that may look very easy, but it's actually not. You have to do a specific input to get it. So I've tried to explain so many times in my other videos and I've failed. So the key for this is, so here's the key to this strat. I'm not getting it right now. There's a very specific reason why I'm not getting it. I am holding the analog stick and jumping. That is not going to work. You have to jump while your analog stick is neutralized for it to work. So when you jump, you're not holding any direction on the analog stick. And there's also another key to getting it. Not only do you have to jump with the analog stick neutralized, but you have to move the analog stick in a certain direction after you jump. So when you jump, so it's neutral, you jump, and in midair, you move it to the right, and then you move it, and then, okay, you jump, okay, neutralize analog stick, jump, move to the right. Okay, so neutralize analog stick, jump, move to the right, jump, move forward, and you should get it. That's the input. Hopefully I described that correctly. So neutralize, jump, hold right, jump, move forward. And that's how you get it consistently. I really hope that explanation is correct, because I have explained that wrong so many times before. Oops. Alright, so this next part just depends on cycles. If you're going fast, you want to do good movement here. Make sure you catch the color cycle. So here's the movement that I like to do. And right here you can do a slide jump, or you can just not do a slide jump. If you don't do the slide jump, you'll have to make sure you catch the cycle. It'll be a little tight, but you still make it. So that's the basic way to do that. There's a couple of other ways to do it, to do the movement for that, but that's, I'd say, the most consistent way to do it. Again, the slide jump past the nitros is a little difficult, so you might want to just walk normally and just take a tight line, and you'll probably still make the cycle, as long as you go fast for the rest of it. Alright, and then you have to kill all these ants. There's a way to skip the ant fight, but it's actually slower than just killing the ants most of the time. Alright, and then you can kind of skip a little bit by jumping over here, and then doing this. And then, okay, so here's a thing. So to save time, you can do this, what we call a ball snipe, I guess. The normal strat would just be to go like this and then spin the ball from here. But there's another way to do it, which is faster by 0.5 if you get it perfectly. 0.5 seconds. So I'm probably not worth it, but I'll show it anyways. Do like this. Oops. So that's fun, but I'd probably not recommend that because it doesn't save very much, and it takes a lot of practice to even get it consistently 3.5 seconds faster. And right here, the movement isn't as important because the cycle is going to be the same regardless. You can't catch a faster cycle than this one. Okay, now jump on this ant over here to skip a little bit of this platform. So the key here is you have to damage yourself and then jump off the ant. Alright, now we will do these wall jump strats. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. So, to skip a large portion of the level, jump off this box and onto the wall. Now we will do these wall jumps. And now I'll try to explain these wall jumps. Well, it's not really much to explain. You just do long jumps. That's really all there is to it. You have to store your long jump by doing a slide jump and then do a long jump off this part right here. So just like this. So, oh, why did I jump off? Okay. But yeah, if you're a beginner and you want to learn the wall jumps, I recommend just doing them slowly and just kind of standing like this and then doing the long jump. But if you want to go fast, you can do them instantly. So I'll show you some fast movement. Jump over here. Oh, also, I guess I'll show you an ultimate strat if you don't want to do that specific wall jump strat, or if you don't want to do the jump off the ant. There's an alternate way to do it, but it's a little slower. But and I think the ant thing is not too bad, but here's an alternate way to go. And then you can spin this ant, jump on, get up here. So here's some fast movement. Okay, and then when you get to here, oh, not here. When you get to here, you can jump up onto this invisible platform, and it's not hard at all. The platform is giant, and it's very easy. So you just walk and then slide. All right, and then you get to here. So now we have this part. So this part, if you want to go fast, you're gonna have to, and catch the cycle, you're gonna have to have really good movement to get to the color cycle that you want to catch. Otherwise, you'll catch a later cycle, and if you're a beginner or not really too worried about the speed right now, you don't really have to go for this, but I will show you how to catch the fast cycle. So what I would do is when you get to the purple ones, to the purple platforms, you do you slide jump onto the purple platform, do another slide jump, and then do a long jump off the side. I feel like that's the most consistent way to get the fast movement. So I'll show you that right now. And then catch the cycle by doing this. You can long jump off of that, or there's a couple other ways of doing it. And now, when you get to this room, again, there's a color cycle at the end where very fast speedrunners have to catch a very good cycle, And the only way to catch it is to have like almost perfect movement throughout this whole room. Um, but if you're a beginner, you don't really need to worry about catching the cycle. So first, to get onto the wall on the side, you slide jump onto this, and then long jump onto these platforms here. And you can long jump directly to this one. It's a little bit more difficult though. And now, to jump up to the wall, you do a double jump. Um, so the key to getting this double jump consistently is you actually delay your second jump a tiny bit. It seems counterintuitive, but that's the way you do it. Or you could just body slam, or you could just go over here. There's a couple other ways to do it. And now, when you get to this part, there's a couple ways to store your slide jump. You could just jump over here and store your slide jump like this, or there's another way to do it, which is a little bit more difficult, but it's faster. So you do a controllable slide jump like this. I screwed it up. Let's try again. And here's an alternate strat for this. So I just demonstrated some fast movement. Here are the controllable slide jumps. So that's the fast way of doing it, and here's the slower way of doing it, but it's easier. Alright, and then when you get to here, you just have to be very careful and long jump over here. Now we get over this force field, and the easiest way to do that, jump off of this part right here, double, and do a body slam. And now you can skip a few of these platforms by going like this, and then colors. So there's multiple ways of doing these colors. Here's the most basic way of doing it. So that's like the default strat right there. There's a couple of other strats you can do. So I'll show this one right here. Okay, that's one. And then here's a strat you can do if you're falling a little behind on the cycle. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show the default strat again, because I didn't go the full way. I don't know if it's the default, but that's the one I first learned about. So that's like what most people have done over the years, but here's... So if you're falling behind on the cycle, you can go like this. Store a long jump there. Alright, and now here's one last one. If you're falling behind on the cycle, if you're even more behind on the cycle, but you still want to try and make it, here's what you can do. You have to make sure you have a long jump stored, otherwise this will be extremely difficult. So what you do is, well, so you have your long jump stored, and you slide down. So that long jump right there, you can either jump off the platform when it disappears, or you can jump off the edge of it. Alright, so now I'll show the rest. Okay, I'll just show this other shot again, just because whatever. Alright, now this part right here, pretty straightforward. This last color section, do a long jump off this one, and there you go. Alright. So now we get to this part. So, fun fact, you can save time here if you get something called ball glitch, but it's extremely random, so I guess I won't really show it. If you want to see ball glitch, check out the world record run, and that's how you do ball glitch. But if you don't get ball glitch, that's what happens right there. Okay, so the key to this is you would just want to make sure you spin the ball from not too far forward or it'll hit the platform and fall, and not too far back, otherwise it won't hit the thing. I don't know what it's called, but anyways, kind of just around from right here should work. And this is the movement I like to do. Literally nobody else does that movement, so I guess I'll just show the normal movement. Normal movement looks like this. And then, okay, this one's a little tricky because this bomb is, the physics on it are very strange. So it's not too important unless you're trying to go fast, but if you want to get all the nitros instantly, what I would recommend is you push the ball forward and then spin it like almost very soon. So here's where how I'd recommend you do this. That works pretty consistent. It didn't work? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, here, I'll show you. Actually, guess what? We're doing ball glitch because it happened. Here's how you do ball glitch. Yay! You can do a long jump right here for good movement, or you can take more safe movement if you want. So there's how you do ball glitch, but I'll show the normal strat. I don't know how I failed it every time. I guess it's because I was going so slow. So I'll just show you the way I do it consistently, from at least the way I've kind of developed to do it consistently for myself. With the ball, the bomb here. That worked. So I would recommend doing it kind of like that. Otherwise, it may not destroy all the nitros. Okay, so now you can go out of bounds right here. I'm not sure why nobody does this camera angle. I find this camera angle to be much better. A lot of people do it like this. And in the old runs, people would go like this to do the jump up here. I don't find that to be very easy. It's not. But it is a thing you can do if you want. But what I'd recommend is jumping off this with this camera angle, or this one, whichever you prefer, and going like this. Alright, and now we just want to skip the Spyro cutscene. So, I guess I'll mention it. You can slide jump, or maybe long jump, I'm not sure. You can slide jump off in this direction to skip it, but it's really difficult. At least I find it to be pretty difficult, so I prefer and do it. You can also slide jump off of this side as well, but I find the slide jump to be kind of difficult. I prefer just to do the long jump. And also, there's two ways you can do it. You can land on the door after it comes out, or you can land on an invisible ledge. So first I will show landing on the door, which is kind of like beginner strat. So alright, here's how you do this. Okay, so the part where I just jumped from may have been a little bit far back, but I still made it. Maybe jump a little bit from a little bit more forward position. But yeah, I can't even be bothered to try and do the other strat because I keep failing. If I fail it again, it's just going to screw me. Because I just had to go through Antagony again just to get to this point. But anyways, now you can just slide jump along the top here. And when you get to a certain part on PS2, you have to pause for it to wait for it to load. When you get to this line right here in the floor, that's where you have to pause on PS2. And then I will show you the way I do the final boss. So I think G-Pro has a better way of doing Cortex section of the final boss. So I'd recommend you check out his world record video for that. For the fastest way to do it. And I'll show you the way I do it. And for Cortex, you can, for the first gun, destroying the first gun, you can just run. Oh yeah, I guess I gotta explain Nina's part first. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do a voiceover of Nina's part because I totally forgot to explain it. So, no one post-editing, please do a voiceover of this part. Oh my goodness. But anyways, so Cortex, for the first gun, you can just run to the right and shoot at it until it's destroyed. And that's the easiest way, and it's not too bad. The way I do it, I'm not sure if it's even faster, but I'll just show you the way I do it. It might be faster. So you just shoot, and then you stand right here, shoot, and just let yourself get hit. And then keep shooting and wait until a certain point and then run to the right. So right about here and then run to the right and then shoot again. So that might be faster than just running to the right immediately and then also just stand right here to avoid getting hit by the second one. And I'm not sure which is faster. I've been doing it this way for a while. And then for this final one, just imitate what I do for this. So run forward and shoot, and you'll get the first one off. Then run to the left, shoot right here, run to the right, shoot again, and then run to the left and shoot, and there you go. And that's it. So that took me freaking forever to record this because I went into a lot of detail. So I kept failing random stuff. But anyways, that is the Crash Twinsanity any percent speedrun tutorial. I went over like 90% of the strats that you need to have a chance at getting world record, and pretty much everything you need to even just speedrun the category casually. And if there's any more information you need, I will link the I don't know, but you can go to the Twins Discord or the Crash Speedrunning Discord, and there you'll find the Twinsanity Discord, and also you'll find the Twins Resources channel with, I guess I could link that in the description as well. So I'll link the Twins Resources in the description, and also the Speedrun Discord. You can ask them questions if you want, and you can also ask me questions in the comments. So there you go. Thanks for watching.